OG,
Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia. Who has more flaws? What's good, everybody? It's your boy Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, so when it comes to this fight, Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Tank Davis, which one of these fighters is more flawed? Which one of these fighters do you guys believe will lose this fight? And what is the reason you guys believe that they will lose this fight? I think flaws, everybody has a flaw. No matter who you are, what sport you play, what you do in life, you're never perfect. Nobody's ever 100% at anything. So, either one of these guys could lose this fight. Tank could possibly lose because Ryan is a longer, taller, has more distance, and Ryan could possibly lose because Tank could knock a rock out. He could put a rock to sleep. So, it's possible for either one of these guys to come out of that fight with an L. Once again, I'm leaning toward Gervonta Davis. But I just wanted to get my 2 cents on who is more flawed out of these two fighters. So when you look at both guys, and when you assess their boxing skills, of course, the first thing that's going to jump out at you is the power of Gervonta Tank Davis and the speed of Ryan Garcia. Now, can power alone win you a fight? I don't think so. Can speed alone win you a fight? I don't think so. I think it can get you so far, but you actually have to have a good ring IQ. You got to know movement. You got to have good poise. You got to be able to judge distance. You got to be able to throw combinations. You can't just be a power puncher and expect to get to the level that Gervonta Davis is at. So I would never say he's just a power puncher. I would never say that that's his greatest asset. And I would never say that that's his biggest flaw. If anything is Gervonta Davis's biggest flaw to me, I think it's the fact that he allows his opponent to hit him. And I think a lot of people are turned off by that. But I like it and I dislike it sometimes. I like it because it shows that he's willing to engage, and he doesn't mind getting hit and walking through punches. And, I like it because I know that he's actually gauging his opponent's power by doing that. Now, if you know that a guy can't hurt you with his punch, then you can do a lot more inside of a boxing ring. But there's only one way to find out if a guy can hurt you with a punch, and that's to actually get hit by the punch. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, that's counterintuitive, that's a stupid game plan, but think about that for a second. If you go straight into a fight, a guy hits you with one of his best punches, and you can completely just walk through it, it's going to change your whole mindset about the fight. So I definitely feel like that Gervonta Davis shouldn't be allowing guys to get that close to him and land some of the shots that a guy like Mario Barrios was able to land on him. But I think at the same time, Gervonta Davis knew that Mario Barrios couldn't knock him out. He couldn't knock him down. His power wasn't heavy enough to affect Gervonta Davis. He knew that in his mind. So he kept allowing him to get close to him and hit him. And what that did for Gervonta Davis is it allowed Mario Barrios to get comfortable coming in, which allowed Gervonta Davis to take advantage of an opening that would not have been there if he didn't allow Mario Barrios to come in like that. So it's dangerous to be doing that, but it's a heck of a game plan. It's a hell of a game plan if you pull it off, because once again, it forces your opponent to become comfortable and make a mistake. And that's exactly what Mario Barrios did, and he got himself knocked out. When it comes to Ryan Garcia, it's a little different. Ryan Garcia, speedy guy, long guy, fights with range, fights with distance, throws a lot of combinations. But his problem, I think a lot of people saw, and I can't think of the guy's name who knocked him down right now, but what people saw in that fight was, Ryan Garcia was pretty much dominated. He was landing a lot of combinations up until the point where he, I think, threw a combination and he rose his chin up coming out of the combination, which you should never do. Your chin should always be tucked. And he came out of the combination too tall and with his chin up, and his opponent caught him with a clean shot and floored him. And that's exactly what I mean. If Gervonta Davis can get Ryan Garcia to do something similar to that, like get comfortable trying to come in with those speed combinations, and boom, it's going to be lights out for Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia, I think, with those combinations is interesting because if he can get on the inside with Gervonta Davis and land some big shots, he's long, so his punches are like a whip. They're whipping punches, so they're going to have force even after they hit you. I don't know if you know what I mean, but if you have been hit with a whip, it's like almost like a shock wave. Like you get the initial hit, but the shock wave that comes after it is a lot worse than the initial hit. So with those whipping style punches and the speed and combination approach of Ryan Garcia, I mean, it could work for him, but at the same time, it could be a flaw. It could be his biggest asset could end up being his biggest flaw and end up losing him the fight. Now, the person with the best ring IQ is gonna win this fight. Whoever can win the chess match is gonna win this fight. And I think Gervonta Davis is just a little more war ready than Ryan Garcia is. I think Ryan Garcia, once again, we've already seen him get baited into one of those type of situations that Gervonta Davis likes to put his opponent in. And once again, when you make your opponent feel comfortable coming in and throwing punches, it's going to open the door for you. And Ryan Garcia really doesn't need that. So if you think about it, who has the biggest flaw? Who has more flaws out of these two guys? I mean, you obviously would have to lean on Ryan Garcia with that. You have to say that coming out of those combinations with your chin up and being so tall, a taller, wider, bigger target is easier to hit than a smaller, thinner, moving target. That's very hard to hit. Now, I'm not saying that Ryan Garcia is just going to stand there and let Gervonta Davis knock him out because he's a speed fighter. He can move his feet. He can move his hands really quickly. I think foot movement is where the determining factor is going to be at. If Ryan Garcia can up the foot movement, then it's going to be a long night for Gervonta Davis. If he doesn't, if he's just relying on his hand speed and trying to throw combos, and Gervonta Davis can make him comfortable, boom, it's going to be night for Ryan Garcia. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. Hit that like button for me. Share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. More than likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there. Throw them L's up. If you want to collabo, hit my Gmail, flockofcards@gmail.com. And we are
doors open, I slide in, looking like $100,000 times 10. I'm in a secret society, send to get a dame of the freaky variety. Club on fire, it's at least in the 90s. Club lights got my gold teeth looking shiny. Super keys, so many degrees. Black tea smelling like trees off a breeze. Leave the club smelling like trees when I leave. Know me cause I sell them CDs for the cheese. I keep it simple, no stripes, no polka dots. Rock what I wanna rock, fit still slogan. You can bet $1 million, you ain't got it like this. You can bet $1 million, you ain't got it like this. I'm looking like $1 million, nice kicks, nice feet. I'm looking like $1 million, nice kicks, nice feet. Hold up, stay fitted. Hold up, stay fitted. Hold up, hold up, hold up, stay fitted. Hold up, stay fitted. Hold up, stay fitted. Hold up, hold up, hold up, stay fitted. So low, you would think I'm a no-show. Gator kicks, not the skin, but the logo. Acosta, Fit fresh off the hanger, I'm a game changer. Lanes are in danger. No chain, no ring on my finger, but I'm still fly, so the lanes feel anger. Cause this chain costs about